So I'm sorry. Okay. Progress. Okay, here we go. We have above, hey. If one says, write a get and give it to my wife, divorce her, or write a letter and give it to her, they may write and give it to give it. If he said, release her, provide for her, do for her as is customary, or do for her as is proper, he did not say anything. Originally, they said, if one goes out in chains and says, write a get for my wife, they write and give it. They later said, also one who sets out to sea and one who leaves in a caravan. Reb Shimon Shazuri says, also one who is in danger. If someone was thrown into a pit and he said that whoever hears his voice should write a get for his wife, they shall write and give it. If a healthy man said, write a get for my wife who desired to taunt her, it happened that a healthy man said, write a get for my wife, and he went up to the top of the roof and he fell and died. Said Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, this comment said, if he fell on his own, it is a get. If he wind pushed him, it is not a get. If someone said to two persons, give a get to my wife, or to three, write a get and give it to my wife, they shall write and give it. If he said to three, give a get to my wife, they may tell others to write it because he designated them as a court. These are the words of Reb Meir. When Kanina ben Ono brought this law from prison, I have a tradition concerning one who says to three, give a get to my wife that they may tell others to write it because he designated them as a court. Said Reb Yossi, we said to the messenger, we also have a tradition that even if he said to the great court in Yerushalayim, give a get to my wife, they must learn and write and give it. If he said to 10, write a get for my wife, one writes and two sign. If he said all of you write, one writes and they all sign. Therefore, if one of them died, the get is null.
Okay. Right, we're now in Perek Zayin. Again, seeing determining if a get is kosher or not. Kodiakos. Kodiakos is some kind of a disease that makes a person not in full control of their mental faculties.
They call it delirium here.
Delirium. Thank you. Okay, that's interesting. Because Kahati in his commentary said that somebody said it was epilepsy.
All right. That makes sense.
Well, I don't know. I don't know enough about epilepsy. Is that a form of delirium?
No, it causes people to have delirium, so to speak, but it's not a form of.
Okay, so while he's in his delirium, Amar kisud get leishti. He says, write and obviously deliver a get to my wife. Lo amar klum. He has said nothing because while he's in the state of delirium, he's not in control of his faculties, and we don't listen to him.
By the way, it says here in my commentary, it says here that one who sees by delirium, he was affected by a type of delirium caused by a demon that has power over one who drinks new wine or any other similar state of mental disorder.
Okay, that I didn't see in my parish. I'll pass that without comment.
Okay.
Lo amar klum. Amar kis will get leishti, but a normal person says, write a get for my wife. But achazor Kurdiakos, and now this Kurdiakos gets a hold of him. Bachazar v'amar al tiftavu, and he says, no, don't do it. And achronim klum. His last words are worthless as well because whether lekula lechumra, we don't pay any attention to him when he's in the state. Nishtata. If a person was struck dumb, gobsmacked or whatever, he can't talk anymore. But Amrulo nichtov get lishtachai. If he and we ask him, should we write a get for your wife? V'hirkin b'rosh, and he nodded. Bodkin also shlosha pamim. So we check him with three other different things. We ask him questions about like, does the sun rise in the east? And if the not, and like, is my hand blue? Like he's got to be able to prove that his signals are meaningful, that he's actually in control of his faculties. Imamar Allah al hen hare elu yiftavu yikno. Then that's good enough. So if you can prove that his signals are consistent and he's still in control of his faculties, we're all good. Okay. Amru lo nichtov get leishtacha. if we said to the man, Niftov, they said to the man, should he write a get for your wife? Amar lahem kasovu. He says, yes, right. Right? Amru la sofer v'kasav. So they said to the sofer, and he wrote it out. V'la edim v'chasmu, and the edim went and signed it. Now, what's wrong with this picture over here is that the people that he told to write and sign are not the people who are doing it. They've delegated it, right? They gave it to a software to write it, and they brought in some aid to sign it. Even though this was done in the guy's presence, and they gave it to him, and the son-in-law, and he took this get and gave it to his wife. Hara get batal. This get is no good because it was done under the shaliach who wasn't actually appointed. Right? They didn't have the authority to delegate. Actually, you must say to the sofer, you must write it. And to these witnesses, you must sign on it. Okay, that's how makpid we are that it has to be done according to his instructions. Gimel zekitech im mati. Okay, a man says to his wife, "Here's your get in case I die." Or zekitech im mati mecholize. Or this is your get if I die from this illness. Zegitech le'achamisa. Or he says simply, "This is your get for after I die." Lo amar klum. Right? What's the problem with this picture? Is that once a man is dead, he cannot divorce his wife. She's a widow.
Right.
Nothing, and there's nothing he can do. You know, the get does not work from beyond the grave. Okay. So how is he supposed to do it? Me hayom imati. This will be your get retroactively if I die. Me achshav imati. From now if I die. Hare ze get. That's a legitimate get. Okay, which means that if he does take a die, then she's considered as if she was divorced from that point. Now, of course, it's going to bring about a little bit of awkwardness in the relationship because now he can't have relations with her now, because if it turns out that he dies, then retroactively they will be having be'ilas nus. So it's not something that a person just does whatever. But if he's going away and he wants to make sure that his wife is catered for if he disappears. So we'll see more of that. We'll see more of that later. Anyway, if he says in the following nusach, "Me hayom ula'achamisa," it's your get from today and after I die. Now, why would he say something like that? I don't know. He got confused. He decided he wanted to cover all his bases. Get the ain't no get. Well, we're not sure. It could be a get. It could not be a get. It's ambiguous, and therefore we now have to apply the chumras of both possibilities. In mace, so if Itaka did die, choletzes v'lo misyavenes, then she requires chalitza and she may not be taken in yibum because maybe she's a divorcee, but maybe she requires yibum and therefore he has to give her a chalitza. This is your get from today if I die from this illness. Okay, so he's phrased it nicely. So he was sick and he was worried that he didn't want his wife to call for yibum if he died. The Ahmad, the halach b'shuk. So then he got up from his sick bed and he walked around the shuk and he was all happy. And then he suddenly dropped dead. So now we have to get into some experts to say, if it was because of the original illness he died, is a get. Okay, that's good. That's a get. In love, ain't no get. But if this is a completely new illness that he died of, then it's not a get and she's a widow. Okay, that's our new Mishna for the day.
Daled base.
Yeah.
Originally, he would convene a court elsewhere and nullify it. Rabbi Gamil, the elder, decreed that they should not do this for the sake of the general good. Originally, he would change his name and her name. The name of his
you realize
son.
why, of course, for the general good. You can't convene a based in and say my get is invalid because meanwhile she's received her get somewhere else.
Right.
Or if the news doesn't get to her in time before she receives her get, she's okay. I'm now free to remarry. And then trouble.
Originally, he would change his name and her name, the name of the town, his town, and the name of her town. But Rabbi Gamil, the elder, decreed that he write the man so and so and any name he has, the woman so and so and any name she has, for the sake of the general good. A widow is not paid from the property of orphans except with an oath. They ceased from imposing an oath upon her, so Rabbi Gamil, the elder, decreed that she should make a neder prohibiting whatever the orphans wish and collect the kasuba. Witnesses signed in on a get for the sake of the general good, and Hillel decreed and prose bill for the sake of the general good. Okay. Is that it? That was no.
No, there's one more.
One more. A slave who was taken captive, and they redeemed him. If to be a slave, he shall be subjugated. If to be a free man, he shall not be subjugated. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says, in either case, he shall be subjugated. A slave whose master designated him as a payment for a debt to another and then freed him by right of law, the slave should not be liable at all. But for the sake of the general good, they compel his master to free him, and he writes about a bond for his value. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says he does not write, only the one who freed him.
Okay. Right,
Nazir.
Last Mishnah in Nazir.
Yeah. Okay. If someone struck his fellow and they assessed that he would die.
No.
Yeah.
The Nazir. It says, hey.
That's what I have. Oh no. I'm just reading at the top of the page. I wasn't paying attention at all. Shmuel was a Nazir, according to the opinion of Reb Nahare, as he stated, and no mora shall come upon his head. It is stated with reference to Shimshon, mora, and he stated with reference to small mora, just as mora just in connection with Shimshon refers to Nazir. So to mora said in connection with small refers to a Nazir. Said Reb Yossi, but does mora not mean fear of flesh and blood? Reb Nori said to him, does it not already state small? How can I go? If Shaul hears, he will kill me, which shows that indeed he had upon him the fear of flesh and blood.
Okay, Sota.
I didn't know we were going to Sota. Okay. Let's save time right now. We'll go to you have it right there, right?
Yeah, right here.